Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door is beyond a shadow of a doubt my favorite game of all time. It's really the only single-player story-based game that I can confidently say I've logged at least 500 hours into and probably beat over 30 times. It's one of the few nostalgic things from my childhood that I can vividly describe every bit of. I could describe my first time playing it, my reactions as a kid to the chapters, all of it. Heck, once I'm done here, I'm probably gonna go play it again because I need to fill my Paper Mario kick since it's all I'm thinking of right now. Anyways, that was my eulogy to a game that may be all but dead now to Nintendo. With my sappy Thousand Year Door stuff out of the way, it's really clear to say that for me this series has been a very touchy subject, and it's one with some ups.
This game is so much fun to me. This is my favorite game probably of all time. One of them,
and some downs.
Next, let's paint the town red.
With all the blood of the developers down in Intelligent Systems. Now you may be asking, Mr. Tryhorse, get on with it. Why have you come before us today? I don't know why I said that like a robot. But it's in the title of the video, so you know. The newest entry in this series was announced a few days ago, and it's Paper Mario Origami King. I've bounced around with the idea of making this video, and I even had one ready to make the day of its announcement, and ultimately I scrapped the idea because... well, my opinions for once don't actually seem to line up with the majority of the Paper Mario fan base. So I understand that this video may not be received well, but remember, this is just how I feel, and with how much I adore this franchise, it's hard not to just throw my opinion out there somewhere because I really can't just hold it in. First of all, this game was leaked a really long time ago with promises of it being a return to form. My initial response was that leaks really aren't ever true, and Paper Mario Return to Form rumors are even more not true. But then more reputable people started confirming the leaks, and then I started to get a little bit more excited for the first time ever in this series, pretty much. Then, the day came. I saw Nintendo's post. Here I was, sitting in front of my computer, running through my head if I should even click on this trailer or forget it happened, because I'm worried if my fears will become a reality, Nintendo isn't actually making a return to form. And then I clicked the trailer. And it wasn't really a return to form? Or it was? I don't know. I mean, I guess this is a good thing because this is my first time that my mentality with like a trailer of a new Paper Mario has been all over the place. Because my first watch through of the trailer, I was pretty much entirely disappointed. And then I kept watching other videos and people that were reacting to it and discussing it, and they were saying like, oh, but there's partners. And I would go, oh, you're right, this game might not be that bad. And then I watch the trailer again and I see an underwhelming comment, but it looks like there's actual moves instead of cards and stickers. But then this ring thing's pretty annoying to me and I don't really like it for some reason. It just kind of looks ugly, but I think that's just me. And this clip shows you using partners in battle, so that's cool. But I still haven't seen any proof of the combat system being rewarding at all. But the story seems really interesting. Like, honestly, it actually does, because that intro to the trailer felt pretty much right out of a Thousand Year Door sequence with the Shadow Queen or something. You know, but Color Splash did the same thing with their intro, then the game turned into a giant slapstick pretty much for the rest of the game. So if you can't tell, I'm a little all over the place. I'm going to start with the obvious positives. It looks like Nintendo at least listened a little bit. All signs point to there being partners, and of those partners, and this being another positive, is Bowser himself. Meaning, we finally don't have another Mario vs. Bowser Paper Mario game, and that's really nice. We have a unique villain who's actually, you know, I'm not just jumping on Bowser again. I don't like that. And next, there isn't full proof point of this quite yet. We're going to need more footage, but it is looking more and more like this is more open world and not a level-based type of thing with a map. And that's one of the biggest things for me, and with this game actually returning to its form, as people say, because I was just so tired of that level-by-level, get to the end checkpoint and get the star thing that they were doing with the last two, and I hope they do away with that. Now, I'm going to get into what I'm more worried about, and this is a little bit longer. First of all, the combat. I'm surprised, honestly, how much positivity there's actually been regarding the combat, because for me, this is the biggest nope that I've seen in the trailer, and honestly, the only thing that genuinely just doesn't look good at all. Like, I don't like the combat. Right, there is positives for it. It does seem like they've done away with the cards and the stickers, but I really don't like the ring thing at all, and I just don't get why they can't just do the old battling, at least in the sense of it being like a stage and you just hit each other. Seems pretty simple to me. And also, a lot of these questions are things we may just have to wait and see in order for them to be answered, because there's just not enough footage for some of the stuff. Like, I'm still yet to see any sign of a rewarding combat, like a leveling system, XP, whatever it may be. And, you know, until I see further footage or play the game, and if there is or is not that's a make or break pretty much for the combat. Yeah, ultimately, it is a better combat, I think, so far from the footage than Color Splash and Sticker Star, but it's still, I don't think it compares even at all to the first two. And, you know, in general, I don't want my battles to be a puzzle. I just want an RPG. That's it. And my last true gripe, while I did mention this being a positive, it does lie with the partners. And I get it. We have partners again, and people say to look at that as progress and a step forward, but really, why do we have to look at it that way? We've already seen them do partners right, and I don't understand why they can't do it again. These are all just generic Mario characters, except now this Bob-omb is sassy. Ooh, you dirty boy. Me? Well, I'm Bob-omb. But it's no big deal. When I was going through the Reddit the day of its release to see other people's reactions, a lot of them made some simple and easy points, just like based on the fact that, like, how hard is it truly to just give a Bob-omb glasses or something? Like, when you walk through the Thousand Year Door and you experience the whole game itself, how many truly generic characters do you see? Almost everyone has something unique about them to give them a personality, and I guess in Chapter 1 you see a decent amount of, like, generic Koopas and Goombas, but it is Chapter 1, so maybe it's just kind of a baseline. But from every chapter onwards, almost everything is very unique. In this, it's just a regular Koopa, or a normal Bob-omb, or every Toad we've seen in Sticker Star and Color Splash, ever. So really, partners are a good thing as a whole, more positive than negative, as long as the game is still good. So I'll allow the partners to be boring. But I can guarantee you, a couple years from now, I'll forget Mario ever partnered up with CT47651 as opposed to Koops. Also, that was a Star Wars reference, and I'm very sorry for that, because I'm just a giant nerd. My one big hope is just that the plot is genuinely good. I get that people liked Color Splash and its dialogue, and I agree that it had moments, but I want a good and genuinely memorable story. Because I can imagine that despite its good dialogue, not many people can actually remember that much about Color Splash. I think the Thousand Year Door and even like 64 did a much better job at mixing funny dialogue within its story to make it seem less forced. To wrap everything up into one and give my thoughts, I do believe in this game, and I know it will at least be decent. I think I've come to terms with the fact that Nintendo just doesn't want the series to be like its roots anymore, and they want it to go a different direction. And I think once I can truly come to terms with that and set that aside, I imagine this game will be good, and I'll be able to at least treat it fondly, but it won't be something that I'll probably replay. I think at this point, instead of us hoping and praying each 4 years that a Paper Mario game comes out that one of them will be a return to form, we might as well just hope for a remaster of the Thousand Year Door or even 64. I prefer a Thousand Year Door remake, but other people love 64 more. I think it's better to hope for those type of remasters over a return to form, because honestly, I don't really even think there's a way they could make another game like those anyways. So when Origami King comes out, I'll be right back here to give my true thoughts. I'll be playing it, and I'm sure I'll enjoy it, but just not what I have the older games, if that makes sense. So with that being said, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, share this around if you enjoyed the video, and I appreciate it. And I'll be gone now, forever. Bye.